Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts studios, here's Jake Asman.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts. For all your car care needs, you can get guaranteed low prices and excellent customer service from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Oh, O'Reilly Auto Parts. Parts, better prices every day. Last night, a reporter for CBS Sports, Chris Trapasso, had a tweet that went viral very quickly. His tweet was saying that talks were heating up between the Eagles and the Texans over a Deshaun Watson trade. He said there's still some hurdles to get over, but both sides attempting to come to an agreement. Let me tell you, a hurdle to get over might be the old 22 sexual assault allegations that have been filed against Deshaun. You know, those 22 civil cases? Yeah, I would consider that to be a hurdle. Let me tell you what I've heard, because I checked around with a bunch of people last night when this happened. They're not even close to trading Deshaun Watson inside the Texans organization right now. Not even close. The problem with any Watson trade right now is the team acquiring him doesn't know if the NFL is going to either suspend him or put him on the commissioner's exempt list. And if you're the Texans and you have this crown asset, why are you trading him now for 10 cents on the dollar? You're not going to get what you should get for a guy that good. You got to wait. Any draft pick you get for Deshaun Watson, you can't even use for another 9 months. Your team that you have this year is the team you have. Like, there's nothing changing with the Texans right now. You know, there's no players they can add in a Watson trade here that's going to, like, make them a playoff team or something. This is a rebuilding year for them. You got a first-year head coach, a first-year general manager that leads the league in, like, transactions. Have you seen the Texans roster, the amount of moves they've made? I checked in with people. They're not even close to trading Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson's camp knows he's not even close to getting traded right now. And he's got no leverage. Why do the Texans have to move him now? What's the rush? He showed up to camp so he doesn't get fined $50K a day. Now he's dealing with some sort of like ankle or calf injury that's not that serious, but they could say, you know what, he's keeping him out of practice for a while. He's never going to play in the preseason. He's never going to play in the regular season. It's over. I would tell Deshaun Watson just to go away, stay out of the building. Deuces. But you can't trade the guy now. Unless the Eagles are offering you 3 ones right now, and you think it's worth it just to deal him away and not have to deal with the distraction, all right, fine. But A, the Eagles don't have the 3 ones to deal you because the Wentz injury prevents them from potentially getting that extra 1 in the Carson Wentz trade. And I don't see Philly doing it. How could the Eagles bring in Deshaun Watson right now? If you're an NFL team and you're going to bring in a guy you think is a franchise quarterback, how could you bring in a guy that might have anywhere from an 8 to 12 game suspension? There's just no reason for the Texans to do anything. The hardest thing for the Texans is going to have to be to just do nothing. When everyone wants them to do something, and Watson's camp is leaking out to the media, oh, you know, something's brewing, you know, teams better make their best offer. They're trying to force action here. I was told, but Nick Cesario's not even returning people's calls. I check in. Like, what's the move the Texans could make where people would be like, hey, you know what? I understand why they traded him. Has to be at least 2 ones and 2 twos. We start there. Because ask yourself this. I understand the allegations against him are terrible, but we know how this works in sports. Is Deshaun Watson playing football again in his career? Yeah, he is. He's 25 years old. He's going to play football again. So if he's going to play football again, the Texans can't get ripped off here. This trade could potentially set up their franchise for long-term success. It's terrible they're in the spot where they got to trade the guy in the first place because you go your whole career if you're a GM trying to have a quarterback as good as Deshaun Watson is. But if you got to trade him, you got to get multiple first-round picks. And what team's giving you that right now? Plus, if you wait, you can have more teams that are involved in bidding for him next offseason. I'll give you an example. If the Giants stink this year and Daniel Jones goes out there, doesn't play well, they're not keeping him going into his 4th year. Giants have 2 ones. Guess what? They could be in on Deshaun Watson. That's just one team I'm mentioning. If Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock stink this year, aren't the answer long-term for the Broncos, Denver's going to be desperate to get a quarterback. They're in on Watson. They were in on Watson this year until, obviously, all the legal stuff came out. If the Dolphins stink this year with Tua, they could be out on Tua and go at Deshaun Watson. There are teams that would be in on Watson in the offseason that aren't in right now. And even if they are in right now, are they really giving you what the guy's worth? So there's all this speculation on when he's going to be traded. He's not getting traded yet. My prediction is Deshaun Watson doesn't play football in 2021. And here's the other factor in all this. And I was reading Mike Florio's piece on Pro Football Talk, and he pointed this out, and I heard the same thing from folks. The problem, and I'm reading from Florio here, the problem at this point is the looming possibility of prosecution. Watson's camp believes that the evidence against him will be presented to a grand jury. If he's indicted on felony charges, the NFL undoubtedly will place him on paid leave until the case is resolved. Until then, it's possible he'll be convicted and then incarcerated. And you might say, well, Jake, why doesn't Watson just try and settle all these cases, pay off the women, whatever? The problem with doing that, I was told, is this. If Watson goes to settle, his people feel it would look like he's just paying off these women for their silence. And then the Houston Police Department, which still has an open investigation into Deshaun, could then come in and charge him because they don't have to worry about a settlement. It'd be a criminal situation, not a civil situation. So the idea that anything is close right now with Watson in Philly or Watson in any team, it's not true, I'm telling you. Deshaun Watson is not getting traded, at least anytime soon. When that changes, it will be because we have an idea on what the deal is with the civil cases, what the NFL is going to do with a possible suspension, all that. He will not play for the Texans ever again. I don't think he plays in 2021, though. That's the big thing here. And that's what I've been told from people in the know. 800-224-2004. So Deshaun Watson has not been out of Texans practice the last 2 days. They have put on the pads, and Deshaun Watson has been nowhere to be found outside the Texans training facility at NRG Stadium. His offensive coordinator, though, is Tim Kelly. Tim Kelly spoke to the media yesterday, and he was asked how Watson has been around the team.
He's been a great asset for us in the room, with some of the stuff that we do, some of the stuff, how he sees it, how he sees the intent of the plays. It's been great. He's been very helpful for those players. And again, we're doing a good job keeping them engaged and going through some different stuff with them. So he's been good for those players.
Man, does anyone believe that? Does anyone believe that? Have you seen Deshaun Watson in some of these practices and the videos? He's like a scout team safety. And we're supposed to believe he's actively helping Davis Mills, who apparently has been awful in some of these practices from what I've been told. I'll be out of Texans practice tomorrow for the first time here in Houston. But Davis Mills, he's like missing dudes left and right. He's struggling. I mean, look, he's a rookie, third-round pick. I get it. But you think Deshaun Watson's really trying to help him? When he's like, man, I'm so much better than this guy. Or even like Tyrod Taylor. You think Deshaun Watson's like helping him? No way. Jeff Driscoll. From a petty standpoint, it was actually kind of funny seeing Watson just stand around and mope and just be out there because it's hot in Houston. So having to just stand in the heat and do nothing rather than just sit in the air conditioning in his, office at our NRG or just stay home. He's not playing football this year. I've said it over and over again. I'd be really, really surprised. Unless something changes between now and week one, like a settlement or some sort of, announcement from the police department here in Houston that they've conducted an investigation and no criminal charges will be filed. I just don't see how he plays at all in 2021. Crazier things have happened, though, right? But, man, I don't see it. I don't see it at all.
Auto Accident Help Desk is a marketing agency connecting callers with attorneys. Providers pay a fee for advertising.